Hello everyone, welcome to School at 7. You wake up, you solve, you pass. So here we share exam focused content. This is a pre-made simple daily questions, meaning better results. Here we pass, we solve. All right, so you're missing out. So this is your daily ECZ advantage. Make sure that you join us so that you catch up. Okay, so today's topic or today's subject is very interesting, and I can't wait to share with you. All right, so we are doing an exam question in principles of accounts. So our focus is working capital and financial calculation. So get your book, get your pen, and let's get started. Okay, so this is the exam question. Came from 2019 paper. Okay, so I've extracted only two, B1 and B2. Okay, so let's do the questions. I'll zoom the paper. Okay, I've just zoomed the paper. Okay, so first question reads, describe two ways in which the business of a sole trader can increase the working capital. So you're describing, as you are describing, the examiner is expecting you at least to give points relevant to these 4 marks. You cannot just give 2 marks and end there. So you can actually give 4 points, or rather give 2 points, then explain those 2 points for you to actually get your 4 marks. Okay, so I'm gonna answer the question now. So working capital, you have to know that working capital firstly is defined by, okay, let me just get my pen, my blue pen. So working capital, let me just write from here. Working capital is equal to current assets. Okay, current assets minus current liabilities. Okay, so this is working capital. So now we want to increase it. How do we do it? Okay, so the first point that we can raise to increase the working capital of a sole trader, or the sole trader can, let me just zoom again. I think this is okay. Number one, introduce or introduction of additional capital. So we'll say introduction of additional capital. Okay, so here you can explain, so the owner can invest more of their personal cash into the business. All right, this increases their liquid cash. All right, so write those points down. Introduction of additional capital, how the owner can invest more of their personal cash into the business. Okay, second point, obtaining long-term loans. So a sole trader can obtain, all right, obtaining long-term loans. Okay, so here what do we mean? We mean a sole trader can do this by taking out a non-current liability. For example, like a 5-year bank loan, right? So a non-current liability is a loan, all right? And how does it do this? This will keep the cash in the business because of the loan, right? The current assets increase while the current liabilities remain unchanged. So this is your second point that you can actually raise. Okay, so you can explain these and expand them. Though the examiner mentioned describe 2 ways, so you can expand on these for you to actually get your 4 marks. Okay, so we're going to just end on these 2 points, and remember to expand them like the way I've said. If you love, you can actually give another point, right? So you can choose between the three. So trader can sell a non-current asset. For example, like a van that is not being used but it's of high value. All right, current assets for cash. This is for cash, not on credit. Okay, so sell a non-current asset or current non-current assets for cash. Right, this means you have to sell something that you have not been using. Okay, this is gonna help you increase what? Increase your current assets and reduce your current liabilities. Okay, so sometimes the examiner will ask you to calculate the working capital. This is a formula you use. Okay, working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. Okay, so maybe the examiner will ask you to calculate current assets, or sometimes current liabilities, sometimes current assets. So you need to know how to swap the formula for you to actually get the correct whatever they're asking you to calculate. Okay, so working capital, current asset minus current liabilities. Okay, so let's go to the question B of 2. Let me read. Okay, the following information relates to the business of Kalumbiba. What a name. Kalubemba, for the year ended 31 December 2016. So sales 169,000, sales returns 6,500, stock at 1st January 2016 9,500. Gross profit is at the rate of 40% on net sales. Net profit is at the rate of 25% on net sales. Rate of stock turnover is 10 times. Required the year's net turnover, so you need to calculate the year's net turnover. Okay, so now the net turnover is calculated by subtracting returns from total sales. Subtracting returns from total sales. So sales minus sales deduct sales return. So net over turnover. Okay, let me just write here for the first one. So we're calculating net turnover. Formula, net turnover. Let me just do this. Net turnover. Net turnover is calculated by sales minus what? Sales returns. See that? This is your formula. Now let's punch in the details. I hope you're copying because I'm going to wrap this, okay? So make sure that you're taking notes. So sales, how much is our sales? Our sales 169,000. So we put our sales here, 169,000. Okay, minus sales returns here. Sales returns minus sales returns. How much is it? 6,500. 500 kwacha. Okay. And 169,000 minus 6,500, what do we get? We get 162,500. So this is our net turnover, or the year's net turnover, or net sales. Okay, so this is how you calculate. This is a formula. Make sure that you copy this formula. At the time you're watching this video, I advise you to copy this formula and copy the solution here. Okay, so we go to number 2. Let me just wrap this. Okay, number 2, the gross profit. The gross profit. How many marks? 2 marks. How do you calculate the gross profit? We are told here, very important, gross profit is at the rate of 40% of net sales. And our net sales, what did we get in our first question? What was the net sale? What was the net sale? The net sale was, this is why I told you to write down, okay, because we'll be referring to the previous question. Net sales was how much? 162,500. This was the net sales. So we are told the gross profit is at the rate of 40%. So we are calculating this way. So we are saying gross profit is equal to 40% by 162,500. Okay, so now 40% means over 100 times 162,500. Okay, meaning you can cancel this 20 and cancel those 20, then multiply 40 by 162,500. What we get, or automatically you can just do this. You can just say 100 into 101, 100 into 40. It's how much? 0.40 multiplied by 162,500. Okay, remember this is the gross profit. Gross profit. Okay, so 0.40 times 162,500. What do you get? Use your calculator. What do you get? You get 65,000. So this is our gross profit. Okay, this is how you calculate. Continue. Let me just wrap this again. Our gross profit is 65,000. Okay, we are here on number 3. What are we calculating now? What are we calculating? The cost of goods sold. Number 3, the cost of goods sold. In short, COGS. All right, we are calculating COGS. So the cost of goods sold is the difference between net sales and gross profit. Write that point down. The cost of goods sold, of goods sold is the difference between net sales and gross profit. So here's the formula. All right, COGS, or cost of goods sold, is equal to net sales minus what? Gross profit. Gross profit. Let me just rub this and write it properly. Gross profit. This is the formula. So copy this formula. Copy this formula. Okay, so now let's punch in the details. Let's punch in the details. So COGS, what's our net sales? Our net sales, the one that we found in our other question, 62,500. Okay, minus the gross profit that we found in our previous question, 65,000. So we just subtract here COGS, 162,500 minus 65,000. What do we have? 97,500. Oh, 97,500. So this is your COGS. Okay, continue. I'm rubbing again. All right, we are doing this other question. 1V, the net profit. So what is the net profit? We are told here that the net profit here, net profit is at the rate of 25% on net sales, and our net sales is how much? 162,500. Okay, the one that we found in our first question. Remember, in our first question, the net turnover. Okay, net sales, net turnover, one and the same. Okay, so what's our net profit? How do we go about finding the net profit? So net profit is 25% of the net sales. 25% of the net sales. So we write net profit is equal to 25% of how much? Of net sales. The one that we got there, 162,500. Okay, net profit is equal to, I hope you're writing this down. So here is 25 over 100 times 162,500. Okay, here we divide both sides. We divide 100 into 101, 100 into 25. What do we get? 0. Can we just write net profit? Net profit, this is 0.25 times 162,500. When we multiply here, what do we get? Net profit is equal to, when we punch our calculator, our net profit will be 40,625 kwacha. So this here is our net profit. Okay, we continue. I'm rubbing this as well. I'm rubbing this. Okay, make sure that you are copying. Let's do our last question. Our last question, the expenses of running the business here, the expenses of running the business charged to the profit and loss account, 2 marks. Okay, the expenses charged to the profit and loss account. So expenses are the difference, or are the differences between the gross profit and the net profit. Expenses are the difference between the gross profit and the net profit. So formula easy. Let me write here, we are calculating the expenses. Okay, so formula, expenses is given by gross profit minus what? Net profit. Netting net profit. Remember, you are told to find the expenses, and the expenses are the difference between gross profit and the net profit. So this is how you calculate the expenses. So if you want to find the gross profit, you know what happens as well. Okay, I mean, if you want to find the net profit, meaning we're subtracting expenses from gross profit for us to get the net profit. When you want to find the expenses, subtract net profit from gross profit. So our gross profit from the question was how much? 65,000 was 65,000, okay, minus the net profit. What was the net profit in our previous question? It was 40,625. 40,625. Okay, so expenses. Okay, expenses again here. All right, so let's subtract 65,000 minus 40,000. What do we get? We get 24,375. 375 kwacha. So this is our expenses. Make sure that you're writing these formulas down. You'll be glad that you did. Okay, so we have come to the end of our revision session. Thank you so much for watching. This is School at 7. All right, and if you love this content and you want, or you need more help, you're struggling in accounts and you're looking for help, right, I'm inviting you right here. Okay, these are the details. If you need help with SSZ Prep, these are the details here. Okay, the earlier the better. All the grades available. All right, thank you so much for watching. This has been Tutor Be Smart at Be Smart Learning Academy. It's bye for now.